Hello, everyone. I am happy to have you here. I am Katie from Chewy Media, and I'm one of the leaders here at Connect Now Business Network. Just to let you know, this video is being recorded, and any members of Connect Now can view it at a later date once it's been uploaded to the website. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to let me know, and I can make sure that you get the video later as well. In case there's any talking points that you either wanted to go over or listen to again, whatever you want to do with it. So this is the first meeting for Marketing Motivator, and I'm really excited. I hope that you guys are motivated too. So real quick, how many of you feel that in your business, it has the capacity to grow? So if tomorrow someone came to you and said, I need $10,000 more of what you do, that you would be ready, willing, able, and excited. That's what I thought. Most of us can take on more business. In fact, we spend the greatest amount of time as a business owner trying to get more business. That's what the life cycle is. We don't actually spend this much time working on our actual business. So for this metaphor, new work is life, and not having new work can mean death. And yet, what if I told you that you were doing something right now that was blocking you off to that very life? What if I told you that you were doing the equivalent of hanging a closed sign on your door and walking away from the biggest, most important marketing platform in existence? No, it's not the Super Bowl television ads. It's much easier than that. It's on the internet, and you're closing yourself off to life on the internet. We do this all the time because it's easy to not know how, it's easy to not know why, or even to just know that it's needed. I'm talking about making your business as open and approachable as possible for new businesses in the online space. This isn't going to be complicated for the most part. Some of it's going to feel just like common sense, but you'd be surprised. It's the single biggest form of neglect for your business. We do this, the idea of making your business approachable isn't anything new. You know, brick and mortar stores have been doing it for centuries. Make the curb appeal nicer, add air conditioning, greeters, you know, larger parking spots, expanded hours, bigger graphics and designs, all signs that show the life of the business and that they cared about those who are shopping with them. We do this online too. We have specials, bigger graphics, and try to provide free shipping on more items. But this isn't translatable in quite the same way as a brick and mortar. We aren't opening ourselves up for new business so much as trying to capture the existing business that comes through the door. So essentially, when someone comes to your website, we want to capture them. We want to lead them to the contact page and lead them to buying from you. So what do I mean? Your online presence. I speak about it a lot. If you've spoken to me in person in the past, I've probably mentioned this combination of words. Your online presence is not just your website, though. I mean, it's usually housed on most people's websites, but your online presence is, you know, the business on the online space. It's your reach. It's the size of the net that you cast. It's how open you are to receive new clients and customers. It is your life on the online space. Now, how do we make this presence better? How do we make this presence show that we are open to new business and clients? So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is something that I call getting out of your own way. There are a lot of us, we've done it before too, who get in your way of your own success. We self-sabotage, or we don't know what we don't know and end up blocking ourselves from what we're trying to do. This is no different when you head online and try to start promoting yourself on there. You get in your way through technology, through strategy, and you get in your way through neglect. I have found that these next things that I'm going to talk about are some of the common ways that we get in our own way. And here are some easy methods to deal with those situations. So, number one, not letting Google know that you exist. Now, this is number one, and if you take nothing else from what I'm going to say right now, take this and I'll be happy. I'll call it a success. So at one of my meetings, I gave out a sheet of paper with some free tools for business owners. Now, if you haven't already received it, I'll post it in the comments on the event page so that you have access to that as well. One of those tools was the Google Webmaster Tools Suite. It's a free tool set by Google. It promotes website health in relation to how Google finds it and presents it to others. Now, I'm not saying that Google will never find your site without using this tool, but this tool is made by Google for website owners to register their site and to tell Google which pages are relevant and which aren't so much, which are kind of filler pages. It also lets Google know what your website's about and why people should be wanting to visit your site. And if this wasn't important enough, Google will fire off emails to tell you how you can improve your connection between your website and Google search once you start using its toolkit. It is an amazing feature, so I definitely recommend you using it. And it's free. It's something free that you can use to get ranked higher on Google today. There are not many things that can promise this, especially free. SEO can be an expensive game to play. So this definitely helps bolster that. So number 2, also not letting Google know that you exist. This is part 2 of this. There are different ways to go back about this, and this one's back with a bite. It takes the form of a technical problem. Your website settings might be blocking Google from searching your website. I know. Your hard work is spent, months of agonizing over content and colors and images, figuring out how to get certain things to display or to get something to look like what you saw on another site that you liked. And then when your website is actively working against you without your knowledge. So many softwares, including Wix, WordPress, and Squarespace, they all have a setting that is on during the development of the site that blocks Google from crawling your website. It is up to you to know that you need to turn it off once you're ready to launch, and it's up to you to know how to do that as well. Come talk to me. I will help you make sure that that setting is off so that you're not actively working against your own site. So number 3, not enough of a good thing. So sometimes we go to a restaurant and it's an undiscovered gem, a literal hole in the wall with no signs that they even exist. But their food is fantastic. And then you want to go there and you want to be the only people in there because the food's so good. You don't want anybody else eating it. Over time, people have begun searching them out, and the very lack of presence is a symbol of their quality. Unfortunately, this is not the same case online. Nobody is looking for the company with the shoddy website or the underbuilt website or the Facebook page with only one post on it. Nobody's excited about the Twitter feed that has 1 retweet on it or the Instagram with a handful of images from 5 years ago. The issue that we decide to cast a net, making it out of dental floss. It doesn't work. Providing no pages about the services that you offer or even an area to contact the company, people are just going to leave the site. Most of the time, this takes the form of one-page websites, and while sometimes this can be executed with amazing success, a lot of times this is viewed as an excuse to put less effort in, and that's just getting in the way of ourselves. This lack of activity, the lack of content, the lack of substance is the very thing that Google looks for when deciding to rank a company and their website very high. It's another quintessential way that we get in the way of our own business when building that online presence. So, number 4, too much of a good thing. So you're driving around, oh no, what Starbucks do I go to? The one on that corner, or the one on that one, or the one across the street from it, or the one in the mall, I'm going there later. You have so many options. This is an issue that we see more often than we should, to be honest, duplicating your online presence. It doesn't work the same way. We see it on websites, we see it on Facebook, we see listings in every directory site, you'll see duplicates. Now, unlike the Starbucks and the other brick and mortar locations, which, that can increase 2 new areas, a second new website will do nothing but cannibalize what you're already working on, and it will compete with your other website the majority of the time. So unless you have a strategy which takes advantage of having a second website, there's no reason to do this. You are splitting Google's focus every time you create another website for your business. Every time there's duplicate content, it's just battling against each other for Google's attention. 2 is not always better than 1. The grass is not always greener on the other side. This also comes to play with orphaned projects. Just because you built a new site or have a Facebook page for your business doesn't mean you shouldn't take the old one down. It will help you with your ranking in Google if you do this. Another byproduct of having a duplicate or multiple websites or social media pages and directory listings of the same service is that you will confuse your audience. New clients and customers don't know that you decided to have two websites. So if one of them is less active or less attractive or less easy to find, this may turn off potential clients and you miss out on that new life, new work. Double the websites doesn't mean double the traffic either, or double the fun. For the majority of us, this can be a death knell for your online presence before we even get it off the ground. For a lot of businesses, this is not a strategy that bears any fruit and can just end in heartache. Google will actually rank your sites lower if they notice that there's two. It just don't do it. Cheap hosting is number 5, cheap hosting. The story about the tortoise and the hare does not translate to website hosting. Speed is king. Not only do people get frustrated a lot more easily than they used to, think of the dial-up days, and now people can't wait for a site to load anymore. When your website is loading, it's either fast or it's dead on arrival. There's nothing that can fix it once it impacts your online presence. This is one of those things where it actually costs you more money to go with cheaper hosting for your website due to, lost views and converted clients. It may be nice to save $20 a month on hosting, but when it comes to paying your bill, but the amount that you'll pay in headaches and issues will make that $20 a month look like peanuts in comparison. The problem with cheap hosting is that it's something that you will never think about until you wake up one morning and your website's missing and technical support will get back to you in 5 to 7 business days because your $4.95 a month doesn't cover having technical issues addressed immediately. It also doesn't cover backups from far enough back to fix an issue that crops up. Extra security against malicious code running or hacking your website and hijacking the content to serve viruses to all of your prospective clients and customers. Hosting is more important than a lot of people realize. You want your site to be protected. You want the people coming to your site to be protected as well. Managed hosting is something that removes all of these issues. And while it isn't as much of a deal at first, purchasing a hosting plan, it's a steal when you know that your website will be online and in healthy working order day in and day out without a potential catastrophe, which could wipe your business from the internet in mere seconds. Also knowing that managed hosting can provide somebody to contact and deal with said catastrophe if it were to happen should be worth more than those perceived savings. It's all in the value. Another aspect of cheap hosting should be taken into account is that cheap hosting will usually experience more downtime. Maintenance windows where your site is online, and sporadic speeds. So you're usually sharing finite resources with other businesses and websites. And those resources are being stretched to make hosting your site at $4.95 a month economically attractive. From their business sense as well, they are business owners too. If your site has a boost in traffic or requires something remotely taxing to those resources, your site will respond slowly, and there will be little that can be done to improve that speed. Managed hosting can provide solutions to these issues such as caching on your website, resource balancing, and even increasing those resources to accommodate whatever might be thrown at your site. We want to make sure that your site is protected from people even hacking into, because people are getting very crafty. So number 6, so we've got driving visitors away. This is one thing that people don't realize that is happening. So you manage to bring somebody to your website or your social media page. You get them in the door and you're ready to show them around what you do and how great you are doing it. It's, in a sense, it's like a brick and mortar store where you invite them in. Your website is now your store. So don't suddenly send them away before they can make a decision. It sounds obvious, but business owners are doing it daily without even noticing it. The first way is linking to other websites. Now, it's encouraged and it's a useful method of creating credibility in a blog and social media pages, but taking visitors to a new location within the first 10 seconds of your visitor coming to your site accomplishes nothing more than just losing those clients. When linking to pages, it's best to link to one of your own blog articles or your link to another site. Now, the other way people generally drive visitors away is their content. Pop-ups with notifications or requests to join a mailing list can draw attention to featured areas that you want to pay attention to. But if that's done incorrectly, it can also ruin the user experience. Now, this goes the same as auto-playing video with audio. We now have videos playing as backgrounds for content as a trend, but you know, every time the page loads, if you get a video coming up and playing and you don't know where the sound is coming from, now I don't know about you, but that drives me crazy. So please don't do it. But I know that I'm not the only one. It turns off the user from the site and they leave quickly. They just get out of there. I'm one of them. So please don't have audio on your site. And number 7, making it hard to contact you. There is nothing more frustrating to a person than wanting to give their information to a company and wanting a question answered and not being able to get in contact with you. They're basically holding out money saying, hey, come take this from me. Hey, I want your service, but you're not there to accept it. You're not there to answer the phone. You're not there. You know, you have to be there. You have to give them the opportunity to get in contact with you. There are many companies that create this cardinal sin every single day. Potential customers want to ask you questions, find out timeframes, and work out if they can purchase your products or service. But how are companies making it hard to contact them? So the first thing that you see when going to a website, if the contact information is not visible on the top of your website, you run the risk of somebody leaving your site and not coming back. The second way is with a contact page. So important to have. Well, it's almost second nature to designers. For us, we just, oh yeah, automatically contact page. Many websites don't have a web form for contacting you directly. Some people would prefer to just send a contact form, send a few emails out rather than committing to a phone call. It's just less daunting to do that. You know, they want to, you know, maybe if you're a brick and mortar store, show a map on there to show where people can come and talk to you. It can be the difference between making a sale or not. In keeping with the theme of getting you out of your own way, this is a simple matter of leaving ways for people to contact you, not taking them away. Now, the third is social media. First, update all of your contact information in your social media pages. This is all of them. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, website, you know, whatever other websites that you use. I know for Connect Now, there's a member area. If your phone number changes, make sure that you change it on there. It is shocking how many people don't have these updated. It's blocking visitors from contacting you and directing them to your competitors. You're basically saying, nah, go somewhere else, bye. Second, list what it is that you do on social media. Do not assume that someone will travel to different locations just to find out what you do. If it isn't there on the front for your visitor, they will have no trouble going elsewhere. So make it easy to find out what you do, how to contact you, and especially what you can do for them. This will, you know, stop sending people to your competitors. So as you can see, it's very easy to get in your own way when establishing an online presence. So these are some of the things that people frequently, you know, do or don't do, which is driving clients and some future work away from you and your competitor and towards your competitors. So next month, I will be getting in some of the ways to attract people to your site with what I'm going to call enhancing your online presence. Before we finish up in 2 months with converting clients with your online presence. So we want to make sure that they get there. We want to make sure that they're converted, and that all means sales. Let's get your website working for you. As always, if any of this seems daunting or you would like clarification, please feel free to contact me and I'd be happy to go over anything that I talked about today and one-on-one so your website can be taken to the next level. For any of you watching this video, I'm offering a complimentary discovery call to ensure that your online presence is working for you. So just get in contact with me and we can set something up. So thank you again. I'm Katie with Chewy Media, and any Connect Now members, make sure you can watch this replay later on. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you next time.